All right, here we go. We got another good video, man. I tell you, I have to have good laughs every once in a while. You guys, come on now. The left are just melting right now, and Donald Trump is going at lightning speed, and nobody's keeping up with him. And the Democrats have no idea what's going on. They don't even know which way to go. So here we go. Let's get into this one. This is a good one all the way to the end, man. Watch this.
And what's funny about it to me is that you're mad at the guy that found the fraud, but not mad at the people that wasted your money.
I don't think you understand how many meltdowns are happening right now, revolving around Elon Musk having his 13th child, and the woman who had the child is posting all of the drama on the internet. Donald Trump has his mugshot in the White House. The media is melting down over that.
They're melting.
There is a CNN news anchor who posted a donation link to a criminal.
We love CNN.
We are going to go over all of the most recent meltdowns, so please bear with me. Before we start this video, please like the video. It helps out so much, and others get to see the meltdowns as well.
Yeah,
Not
please
only
like
have
and
we
subscribe.
never had a U.S. president
please.
with a mugshot, I'm not sure we've ever had a mugshot hanging outside of the
love
Oval
that
Office
mugshot.
before. But that is where President Trump has placed his from when he was indicted in Fulton County, Georgia, for his efforts to overturn the election. We learned a few days ago he is a framed cover of the New York Post with his mugshot just outside the Oval Office in what is known as the Outer Oval.
This is why I love making these videos, because you will never see this on the mainstream media. That same news anchor, Caitlin Collins, she was so upset about Donald Trump having his mugshot in the Oval Office. However, she posted
crying.
a link to Luigi, a criminal, to go look into him, go help him out, and possibly donate. Now, I'm not going to show you guys the full...
See, this is the problem with these leftists. Okay, they're so focused on finding something about Donald Trump, Elon Musk. They don't even care that they're getting their pocketbooks are getting drained by these people that they're freaking covering for. They find little things and they're like, "Oh, look at this right here, look at this." But not at one point do they look back and say, "Oh, well, they did this. Oh, that's bad." No, they don't. It's criminal, man. These guys are so...
Full tweet, because it has the link to go help out Luigi, and obviously I'm not going to show that. You can go look it up yourself. And by the way, Caitlin took this post down as well. So you guys can form your own opinion on the hypocrisy behind Caitlin Collins being upset with Donald Trump, but also posting a link to go...
She's obsessed. Bottom line.
Go help out Luigi.
Elon called me. He said, "You know, they're trying to drive us apart." I said, "Absolutely." No, they said, "We have breaking news. Donald Trump has ceded control of the presidency to Elon Musk. President Musk will be attending a cabinet meeting tonight at 8 o'clock. And I say, It's just so obvious. They're so bad at it. I used to think they were good at it. They're actually bad at it. Because
okay, so this channel is never intended to be a drama channel or low-hanging fruit. However, this is extremely relevant because Elon just had his 13th kid, and out of nowhere, this woman named Ashley St. Clair said this: 5 months ago, I welcomed a new baby into the world. Elon Musk is the father. I have not previously disclosed this to protect our child's privacy and safety, but in recent days, it has become clear that tabloid media intends to do so, regardless of the harm it will cause. Now, what's happening is you have other prominent left-leaning media sources and some politicians are getting in on this, essentially pointing out, hey, if you are a part of the conservative movement and Elon Musk is so prominent as well, how does this have anything to do with being a conservative or a Republican?
That is crazy. 13 kids. That's just crazy. I didn't even know it was with somebody else.
things like that, but it gets even more interesting. Now, the reason why this is relevant, first off, Ashley is a prominent figure in the influencer space for conservatives. Second off, she made this very public by now going to the New York Post and essentially making this mainstream, which means whenever a conservative group makes it mainstream, you're always going to have the counter argument from the left-leaning media. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of education and a heads up. This most likely is going to be a talking point to try and divide conservatives, Republicans, Donald Trump, and Elon Musk.
I would certainly start with, maybe the $8 billion that Elon Musk gets from contracts with the federal government.
Well, number one, if I could just go back to something Naira said, before you start cutting all of Elon Musk's ties to the federal government, understand that we've asked him to rescue our 2 astronauts in outer space. So maybe don't take a meat axe to Elon's engagement with the feds until we get our astronauts home. Number one. Number two, the reason that they're moving fast is because momentum begets momentum. Trump created tremendous political momentum for this kind of change by winning the national popular vote and a real mandate in the Electoral College.
So we are starting to see quite the shift as far as the new narrative, once again, of going after Elon Musk. I think politicians and left-leaning media, they're starting to realize the mass majority of Americans have zero issue with what Elon Musk is doing. So now you have these narratives of trying to expose Elon of, well, he has all of these government contracts. Maybe we should start shutting his contracts down. In fact, you even have the country of Canada shutting down a major contract with Tesla. So again, be aware this is going to be the next narrative as I make this video and the updates of how the media feels about Elon Musk. Cancel his contracts.
Yeah.
ICE is doing a great job. I'm not happy with the numbers because we got a lot of criminals to find. So what we're talking about right now, we're increasing the number of teams, increase the targeting, the division of ICE that creates a target list of, finding who these people are, what their criminal history is, and where we're most likely to find him. We got to increase the targeting production. So we're doing that now. We're increasing the targeting. We're increasing the teams out there in the field.
I told you this was going to be a roll.
Yeah, that's amazing. Tom Homan's doing a good job out there. So
roller coaster of a video. There's so much going on, but this is a very, very big update because this shows Tom Homan verifying he is not happy with the numbers, which means he probably did end up having that conversation with Donald Trump or somebody higher up of, hey, boost those numbers up, otherwise we are not going to hit the quota that we promised the American people. But this next part is very, very surprising.
And finally, I'll be honest with you, sanctuary cities are causing us a lot of work. And rather than arresting a bad guy in Rikers Island, we have to go to the neighborhood and find them, find people that don't want to be found. It is hard because rather than one man arresting one bad guy in a jail, we got to send a whole team to the field to find somebody that doesn't want to be found. And so it's hard work, but we're not giving up. We're coming. Again, the numbers are a lot higher than the Biden administration, but we got to do more. And I've been real clear on that. And that's why we're making the operational changes now that I require.
All right. The reason why this is a little bit of shocking news is because the original plan was ICE was just going to go straight to the jail systems and pluck away all of the illegal immigrants who committed other crimes, and they're already being housed in the jail system. Easy enough. Turns out in sanctuary cities, that's not the case. A lot of these criminals were just re-released back into the sanctuary city because those are the internal laws of the cities. Thus, ICE now cannot do what they said they were going to do, and that is why the numbers are way lower than they thought they were going to be. Also, the numbers used to be posted every single day and very public. They're not being posted as frequently anymore, and you have to do a little digging into how ICE is doing as far as the investigations and deportations.
For young men under the age of 29, the swing from 2020 to 2024 in Trump's favor is pretty significant. 49 to 48, Trump to Harris. It's almost tied with young men. Trump did very well with young people relative to what he normally does. There's something going on here.
Very quick, I need to give you guys the context. The Democratic Party...
That's the problem. They're always trying to make up something.
Party is absolutely scrambling because they are realizing young men do not find the party any way, shape, or form masculine. They actually see it as a joke. Now, I'm going to let the clip play out. It's a very interesting clip. Let me know how you guys feel down below about the masculinity issue of the Democratic Party.
And I mean, this was why, Joe Rogan was so influential in this campaign. Joe Rogan has an audience mostly of young men. There was this whole big drama about whether Kamala Harris was going to give an interview to him, wound up not doing it. I think it's probably a mistake, although it probably didn't affect the outcome of the election. But I mean, I think, you know, what that guy said was pretty dumb, but it is not it is true that Democrats have a problem, especially with young men. I mean, that is a real fact.
So to me, that in a way it validates what Clay Travis is talking about, because if you're trying to get young men, you're not going to get them on all policy points and all the. No, Joe Rogan knows karate, and sometimes he talk about drugs. That's good enough for me. Pete Hegseth was in Germany this week doing squats with like 220 on the bar outside for no reason. That's what the Democrat. I'm being silly, but
and you know what?
serious.
One of the other points that Clay Travis made, and I think this is true. We saw this in real time when Trump had the assassination attempt in Butler. That image of him raising his fist and saying "fight, fight, fight" was like a shot of testosterone in the arms of a lot of men. Mark Zuckerberg was like, "Oh my God." He's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And now look at where we are politically with some of these very people really turning politically toward Trump.
Those numbers that you just read, it's been happening for 10 years. This has been happening slowly but surely over time. I think that pollster in that clip earlier had said 2 out of 6 moderate men voted for Trump. It was the majority of moderate men voted for Trump.
Okay, so I wanted to let that clip play out to give you guys the full context. Obviously, that's very important. But in all reality, this is very, very, very bad news for the Democratic Party, because
yeah, it's the end of the Democratic Party. So take that.
Largest demographic within the United States is white men, and being quote-unquote masculine means a lot to that particular demographic, studies show. Now, if you are over-masculine, that could also be an issue, but when you have zero masculinity like the Democratic Party, that's another big problem. Again, you guys can leave your comments down below. I do find it rather interesting that the Democrats, like, I always say this, go find a Navy SEAL, go find somebody from Delta Force Special Forces, go pay him all the money in the world, and let that be your masculine guy, but they just can't find one.
So is he still talking? Is Donald Trump, he's still talking, I'm told. Is Donald Trump still just listening to Elon Musk talk? Donald Trump is still, right now, listening to Elon.
Do you see what they're doing? They're pathetic. They are pathetic. Oh, he's still talking. That means he's so much. It's disgusting. Oh, he must rule. He's overpowering Donald Trump and all this craziness. You guys are stupid.
Elon Musk talk. So, Glenn Thrush, as a longtime watcher of Donald Trump and of politics in general, have you ever seen Donald Trump watch someone talk instead of him at an event for this long?
The look you're seeing right there is the Trump looking at the kid mowing the lawn look, Nicole.
So I found that clip of MSNBC for you. If you are still watching this video, I really appreciate it. I cannot believe how unprofessional that news organization is to not allow what Elon Musk has to.
They're unprofessional because their audience, because it feeds right into how their audience is. Childish, pathetic.
Say they're interrupting Elon Musk and saying, look at Donald Trump not talk. We've never seen this before. Again, I really try not to make MSNBC look unprofessional or bad. They do a really good job of doing it themselves. And also, I've been very transparent on this channel. I want that news organization to do better so more Americans can be informed or have opposing opinions. I think that's okay. That's what makes America great. But I cannot believe that is an actual news broadcast, and advertisers feel comfortable putting ads on that. I don't know how they're making money, guys.
Right, exactly.
Just understand where you stand.
CNN
if a district court judge rules in a way that the president dislikes, should the president listen or should the president defy?
If a district court judge tries to usurp the authority of the chief executive of this country, he should absolutely defy it. There's a difference between broad policy decisions and discrete disputes between parties. That's the difference. If I want a policy decided, I'll take it to the Supreme Court.
What about checks and balances? Well, Scott, you're
of a district court judge who elected them.
What I can't get with is you talking in these bizarre, broad generalities.
It's not bizarre.
Every single one of these cases deals with a discrete issue. Okay, it deals with funding. It deals with with certain constitutionally or statutorily appointed roles. Every single one of these things is a distinct thing, and they're all being dealt with by different judges. So it's not broad swaths of policy here. When the court says Congress, appropriated this money, you must unfreeze it while we litigate this. Why can't Trump comply with that?
So you're saying that a judge should decide how and when money is spent
a judge is saying,
for years, and not the president of the United
Scott,
States?
Let me explain
You're a governor,
a little bit more. Let me explain it a little bit more slowly. A judge is saying,
you don't have to talk to me like that.
You see what she just said there? It goes both ways. Race, both ways. Sex, both ways. Age, both ways. We're all equal.
Congress.
I have a position on this, and you have an opinion. We can disagree.
Yeah, but I'm saying you listen to me because you're not listening, and you're making claims that are not connected to the facts. The judge is saying
maybe you are.
Congress appropriated a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
We need to litigate this. Okay. While we litigate this, we're going to put a hold on the actions that you took that might be unconstitutional.
So while we litigate, this, I'm a judge and I'm in charge of the executive branch, and you're not. Forget it. I totally disagree.
You just can't compel the executive branch to spend the dollars. You can't do that. They can't say we're going to start. The judges are going to start writing the checks. They have every right to
have you heard of the Impoundment Control Act of 1974?
No.
Okay, well, let me play this. let me play
By the
this.
way, none of your viewers have
Okay,
either.
well, I'm gonna play this clip for you. This is in Congress.
Yeah, no
Russ
judge
Vought,
can
who
tell
is the architect of a lot of this, was being questioned in Congress about the Impoundment Control Act, which actually says that the executive branch should spend the money how Congress appropriated it. Here's what he said is going on right now in the federal government.
Do you believe the Impoundment Control Act of 1974 is the law of the land that you must follow?
It is the law of the land. As you know, the president has run on that issue. He believes it's unconstitutional. For 200 years, presidents had the ability to spend less than an appropriation if they could do it for less. And we have seen the extent to which this law has contributed to waste, fraud, and abuse.
So, Ellie, this is the law of the land. They might be wanting to challenge it, but it is the law.
Right. The Impoundment Control Act says essentially the president cannot block money allocated by Congress. To the power of district court judges, and I understand your point, Scott. I understand the frustration people have when a district court judge blocks a broad mandate from the chief executive, the elected chief executive. Ultimately, the big issues go up to the Supreme Court. But I guess I would ask both of you, what if a district court judge had blocked Barack Obama's DACA plan, the Dreamers plan, right? And he said, heck with you, I'm doing it anyway. Would you be okay with that, or would you have a problem with it?
Okay, so I needed to let that clip play out to give you the full.
Yeah, did you hear what she said there?
Barack Obama's DACA plan, the Dreamers plan, right? And he said, heck with you, I'm doing it anyway. Would you be okay with that, or would you have a problem with it?
Okay, so I needed to let that clip play out to give you the full context as well. And also, I want to point out this is probably the number one dividing factor amongst Americans, politicians, and etc. The court systems. According to Donald Trump and his administration, the district court systems are getting in the way of either defunding organizations.
Okay, once you realize that the Republicans have the House and Senate and the presidency, they can do just about anything they want. So the only thing that the courts are going to do is slow them down, and that's the only thing that the Democrats got is the court system. So everything that they do is going to be through the court systems, and it's going to be to slow them down.
That have been busted by Doge for not doing their jobs adequately.
And Doge, if you look in history, Obama is the one that started Doge back in the day.
Or are wasting money according to Doge, and so on. You also have...
And it had a big pot of money for Doge. And Trump is just using it for his purposes.
have sanctuary city laws, you have issues over in New York City. One thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is that a district judge, they have a lot of power and jurisdiction over certain cities. Like if you're in charge of LA or New York City, you control an abundance of people in the sense of being able to work the laws in your favor, according to Donald Trump. According to the Trump administration, these district attorneys and so on, they are more left-leaning, and because of this, they don't want anything to do with any sort of conservatism or Republicans, especially Donald Trump and Doge. And this is where we are starting to see the potential abuse of political powers in the court system, and I don't think anyone wants to see this. According to the Trump administration, they're getting in the way. According to these district judges and cities, Trump is getting in the way. So you can see why there's a bit of a dividing factor here. But again,
But Trump was elected.
This is probably the most prominent public issue as far as the courts fighting one another. And you even have the AG, Pam Bondi, saying, look, we are not going to allow this to happen, and we are going to start prosecuting judges if they keep impeding on Donald Trump wanting to accomplish his mission.
All right, guys. Well, that was an awesome video. Man, I don't know what to say, really. I just know that the judges will step out of the way soon enough. Donald Trump has the authority to do it, and he is the executive officer of the executive branch, and but that's the only thing they got. So, well, wait till tomorrow's video. This is going to air on Monday, but we will see you soon. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.